Dallas, it was a good night to be a Rasmus. Certainly Friday's first round of the NHL draft was a good night to be Rasmus Dahlin, the Swedish puck-moving prodigy picked first overall by the Buffalo Sabres. It was also an excellent evening if you happened to be Rasmus Kupari, the Finnish centerman taken 20th by the Los Angeles Kings. Leafs GM Kyle Dubas, right, was in his comfort zone drafting defenseman Rasmus Sandin from his old club in the Sioux on Friday night. Bruce Bennett, Getty Images. But fans of the Maple Leafs will be most excited to know about the experience of the other first-round Rasmus. That'd be Rasmus Sandin, the left-shooting Swedish defenseman by way of the Sioux Greyhounds, picked 29th overall by Toronto's NHL team. "We're happy with the Rasmus we have, and that's the only one we control," said Leafs general manager Kyle Dubas with a laugh. "We'll take him and develop him and move on," Dubas said. The 18-year-old Sandin, who had 12 goals and 45 points in 51 games in his first year with the Greyhounds, plays the position the way we want it to be played. That is, with skill and smarts and an understanding of the value of puck possession. Article continued below. "He defends very, very well. He moves the puck extremely well. And as the season went on, his level of competitiveness showed better and better," Dubas said. "He was just an all-around defenseman we were very happy with." Certainly Sandin appeared more than thrilled to be selected by a big-market team on the rise. "With all the fans and how the city is, it's all about hockey, which I really love. It's an unreal feeling," Sandin said. "I've been watching the Leafs a lot this year. Just to be able to maybe meet them and maybe play with them soon, that's a really special feeling." Where Sandin will play next year remains up for discussion. Sandin said it's his plan to return to Sweden and play out the final year of his contract with the SHL's Rögle BK, the same club from which the Maple Leafs plucked Timothy Liljegren, the right-shot Swedish defenseman they chose 17th in last year's draft. Dubas, mind you, spoke in the wake of Friday's first round of liking the idea of Sandin have a two-year runway in junior, suggesting the club might prefer he stay with the Greyhounds. "Obviously he's developed very well there," Dubas said. Still, the GM called Sandin's 2018-19 whereabouts a September decision, and Sandin said he'd be open to discussing options. "We'll see what Toronto thinks. I'll talk to them, obviously," Sandin said. "But as I said, my contract with Rögle is still for one more year. I think I feel more ready to play against men in the SHL next year, for sure." Article continued below. Dubas's first draft pick as Leafs GM followed his first trade in the role, as was his strategy when he ran Toronto's 2015 draft as assistant general manager. This before the arrival of Lou Lamoriello. Dubas traded down for an additional pick, swapping the 25th selection to Street Lewis for the 29th and 76th. It's a smart tactic that's been used for years by the likes of the New England Patriots, the gold standard franchise of the NFL. Dubas said he was just as confident he could acquire one of the players his scouting staff was recommending at no. 29 as he was at no. 25. Making the deal gave the Leafs additional draft capital in the third round. If you acknowledge the draft is more than a bit of a crapshoot, it only makes sense to add more spins at the wheel. Now instead of holding 6 more picks in the 7-round draft, which concludes here Saturday, Toronto holds 7. Mark Seidel, the director of the independent scouting service North American Central Scouting, said if there's a downside to Sandin's game it's that he's not particularly physical. He struggled defensively at times this season. He was a risk-taker at times. I think they had to rein him in a little bit, Seidel said. He needs to get stronger, but they didn't draft him to be a bone crusher. They drafted him to make plays, to quarterback the power play down the road, to handle the puck. Dubas said that, in pre-draft interviews, Sandin was frank about his need to improve his strength and speed, a self-awareness that Dubas said put him a little more at ease with Sandin as a potential selection. But it came in the tradition of Toronto's ex-head scout Mark Hunter, who used the Leafs' first pick in the 2015 draft to select Mitch Marner, a player with whom he was deeply connected during his former life running the London Knights, for whom Marner starred. Dubas, of course, was the GM of the Soo Greyhounds before coming to the Maple Leafs in 2014, well before Sandin arrived. But Dubas acknowledged a comfort level in selecting a player from his former stomping grounds. "Of course, playing in the Soo allows me some greater familiarity with people and greater insights into people. We're fortunate in that regard," Dubas said. "I knew about his character from the staff in the Soo. They raved about him, nothing negative whatsoever. So that was positive." The 29th pick was Toronto's latest ever first-round selection in recent memory. And on a night when Sandin heard his name called twice before he was finally selected, his first name, at least, it came a little later than the player might have liked. "It was nerve-wracking being up there the whole time," Sandin said. "When I finally got to hear my name, it was awesome to hug it out with my family and friends." Dave Fezchuk is a Toronto-based sports columnist. Follow him on Twitter, @DefezChuk.